Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar video. In this one I want to go over what my video plans are to cover Netflix Avatar The Last Airbender when it launches on February 22nd. So we're only 4 days away from the release of the pretty long awaited Netflix Avatar live action adaptation. So, the big thing here, and why I feel like I need to do a video to kind of cover this, is that we basically know it is going to be that all 8 episodes are going to release at the same time. I think the fact that critics and reviewers have got all 8 episodes to review like ahead of time so that they can release kind of like a full series review when the 22nd comes out does, I think, mean that, yeah, the reason they're okay with, I suppose, people potentially talking about like the last episodes on launch day is that those last episodes are going to be there on launch day, obviously. So I don't think we're getting any sort of a fancy release thing. I think it is just going to be standard Netflix all at once. The details should be this in terms of when it launches. I hesitate to say that this is 100% confirmed, but this is how Netflix does the release for most of their original shows. And I don't think there's been anything to suggest it's changing up for Avatar. So the show should be dropping at midnight PST, so Pacific Standard Time. So basically the second it hits February 22nd Pacific Time, the crossover from February 21st into the 22nd, the show will be out. For me in Ireland, I believe this means that the drop is happening at 8 a.m. in the morning, I think. So obviously just go off that idea of midnight Pacific Time. That's what I think most people seem to be agreed upon as like that's when they typically do it. So the problem here is that this format makes it very difficult for myself, as well as other Avatar content creators, to effectively cover the episodes in any sort of a reasonable time. If the show was weekly, everyone would have a pretty set schedule. You watch the first episode, you can put your reaction out, then you can do kind of review style content, and you have like the week in between episodes to organize whatever you want to do to cover that first episode, and you just repeat that structure for the episodes going forward. It allows for, discussion, speculation time in between episodes, and it would be cool, and obviously it's very beneficial for content creators, but also hardcore fans who just want to have that fan experience. We're not kind of getting that here, and so how on earth do I cover that? That's the real question, because it's 8 episodes. 8 nearly hour-long episodes, so nearly 8 hours of content, and that's a tough thing to watch in just a small period of time. That's like, 4 movies worth of content, 5 movies worth of content. And just watching it is a challenge, let alone like also I need to make some videos about this as well, because I want to get out some stuff there and be involved in that initial discussion in those early days. And not just, I'll do it on my own pace, but by the time I get around to covering stuff, the hype is worn off. Like that's the problem here that can sometimes develop. So with this in mind, what I'm trying to do here is obviously I'm trying to still give myself an enjoyable viewing experience, so not super rushing just so I'm up to date and have seen the full show, but I also do want to put out sub videos, and so this is the coverage plan. So launch day, February 22nd. I plan to release 3 videos. One of them will be a reaction video to the first episode. My plan for this, given that I don't usually do reaction videos when I do like coverage for shows, it will be a full reaction. So that means it'll be, I think the first episode 61 minutes, so it'll be like an over hour long reaction, but there will be no show footage included here. And part of that is just that I'm very cautious on the channel about copyright stuff, and then also if I was to do a more sort of typical style reaction video, it would require quite a bit of editing to sort of highlight the quote-unquote big moments, but I haven't seen the show, so I don't really know what the big moments are that people want to see and all that sort of stuff. So instead I'll put out my full reaction, and then you can watch the show on your second screen or whatever, and you can use this as sort of a reaction commentary track style thing, and because it's a full reaction, you get to see my thoughts on all of the scenes as I'm watching it. And I think this is the best way to balance it out of like it being a little bit of a chaotic first day, be me trying out some reaction style content, but not focusing the kind of coverage on this. But we'll get back to reaction videos in a second. I just feel like this is something that, should I do it? Should I not do it? I'm just going to try it out, is kind of my thoughts on that. The main videos I'm going to be putting out on launch day are going to be first, an episode, basically discussion, some initial thoughts, discussing the first 2 episodes of the show. And this will be before I have watched the other 6 episodes. So I'll watch 1 and 2, hear my thoughts on 1 and 2, and then of course I'll watch 3 and 4 and give you my thoughts on episode 3 and 4, again, before I have seen the remaining 4 episodes. I was thinking, like, maybe should I group it, like I'll do my thoughts on the first episode, and then the second video will be 2, 3, and 4. But I think the prospect of trying to quickly cover 3 episodes in one is a bit too much. So they're my thoughts on the first day here. I don't think there's going to be enough time to get through the full series in one day. And again, I want to have a little bit, at least a little bit of a relaxed thing, just trying to enjoy the show and not going crazy with the videos. Day 2. I will then basically finish off my kind of initial coverage. This way, after the second day, you will at least have videos where I have given you some of my thoughts on a bit of everything in the series. So I'll have a video covering my thoughts on episode 5 and 6, and also a video covering my thoughts on episodes 7 and 8. And I think these breakdowns are pretty good. We have the kind of intro kind of 2 episodes. This will be the kind of Omashu 2-parter as far as we're aware. This will be a very spiritual kind of focused one here with the Spirited Away episode and the Fire Temple, Fire Sages, Roku stuff, and of course the Northern Water Tribe finale. So I think that breakdown works out pretty well as initial content. This is pretty, I think, locked in. I don't think this is going to particularly change. But we'll move on to my plan after that. So that's just to get the initial stuff out of the way. And then after the first 2 days, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do. I want to do really in-depth kind of analysis on the episodes. So proper reviews are going to come out. But there's other stuff that I do as well. So first of all, the Avatar Online podcast. We will be covering Netflix Avatar on the podcast. So we'll be doing reviews. Myself and Greg will be reviewing all of the episodes. We just haven't planned out exactly how we are going to do it yet. Likely it will be across basically 4 weekends, basically. So, depending on how exactly the scheduling works, that's how it is going to go. It's going to take pretty much the core of a month, I think, for the podcast to get through all of the episodes, and that's assuming everything goes super well in terms of scheduling. So it's probably going to be 2 episodes per podcast, though I'm thinking it might just be something where maybe we just record two separate podcasts, just so it's like each episode of the podcast is covering 1 episode. We'll see how it goes. As for when you might see the first podcast, I would like to do it basically immediately that weekend. So Saturday or Sunday is when we usually record these podcasts. And so you might see it as early as this time. I just need to organize with Greg to see if that is a possibility, of course. But we will have podcast coverage for the episode. So it won't just be me you're hearing on the channel. You will also get some Greg thoughts on the show also. Then in-depth individual episode reviews breakdown. So this is the big thing. What you'll see here will still be I'll try to be as detailed as I can here. Like these I still would expect to be probably 20-30 minute discussions. But in terms of really trying to get into the details here, that's what I'll be doing in these videos. Now these are obviously going to take a little bit more time to kind of get through, but my hope would be that somewhere in the region of the Monday, Tuesday after launch, I'll get maybe the first one of these out and see like how long it takes to make these videos in terms of gathering screenshots, deciding like, what are my thoughts, what do I want to say in these, covering all of the details, but the idea is there's 8 of these to do. It's going to take probably over the course of 2-3 weeks. Again, not knowing, it's still quite a while before I start to get to these things, so I haven't even seen the episodes yet. It's very difficult to predict exactly what my schedule is going to be, but I'll try my best to be as quick as possible while still keeping the quality high with these in-depth reviews. Then, specific discussion topic videos. Again, they're going to be scattered out across the days and weeks following release. One topic I do plan to do specifically will be one that is focused on the changes with the adaptation, highlighting what changes work and what changes don't work. This will be somewhat similar to the video I did like 2 weeks ago, talking about the Last Airbender movie and how it approached tackling changes and what was good, what was bad. I'll do something similar to that with the live action show now that we, by the time I do the video, we'll have seen the full show. So I think that will be a really interesting one. And of course, I will do other discussion topics, but that's where I'm going to need your guys' kind of help to kind of come up with some ideas. Like I want to make videos, of course, I'm going to have some ideas myself, but I also want to know what stuff you guys want to hear about as well. So definitely in the comments, let me know if you have any videos even ahead of the release, what your thoughts are. But I'm certainly going to be asking for some ideas when we actually have the show, obviously. Then live streams. I do live streams. I try to do them once a month. This is probably the trickiest part of coverage here, because planning it so that the max amount of people have got to a point in their watching of the show where they can participate, and then also trying to figure out like, should we just do full series discussion, like all 8 episodes open? Or should I be breaking this down by episodes? Like, might we do 2 live streams? One covering the first half of the series, one covering the second half of the series, or what? Because I feel trying to cover all 8 episodes on a live stream could go very, very long, and I don't want to do a super crazy long live stream. So that might have to be spread out a little bit. The rough plan would be like first live stream, probably like the first weekend in March. So that would be a week and a bit post-launch. Maybe the week afterwards to like maybe guarantee everyone is there. But again, this is where I would probably need your guys' kind of thoughts on this when it comes to organizing this. When would you actually want this to be? I always do my live streams on the weekend, so either Saturday or Sunday. So it's obviously going to have to be that same similar timing. I just need a little bit of feedback, I suppose, to see what the best time to do this at is. Obviously, my live streams always go up as the video on demand afterwards, so they're not like you missed the actual live, you missed the whole thing. You'll be able to go back and watch that if you so wish. Then, final part here. Reaction videos for the other 7 episodes. I mentioned, of course, at the start here that I am doing an episode 1 reaction as a bit of an experimental thing. What about the other ones? Because, of course, I have to record myself, theoretically reacting to all of the episodes if I want to release the videos. Am I going to do that? My plan, at least right now, not knowing how I'm going to feel on the day, is I probably will record my reactions to all of the episodes. But because it's never been a focus on the channel, and because of the way I plan to do them as like full reactions, no show footage, I'm not sure if that will work super well on the channel just going up as like public videos, because it's very different than I think the way most people do reaction videos, and I worry that the other stuff will be like reasonably popular, but then it'll be like, what about these weird reaction videos that you do very differently? So my plan, I think, ultimately is that if I do the other 7 reactions, they will go up as Patreon and channel member exclusive videos. And these will be the only exclusive videos about Netflix Avatar that I will have on the channel. Everything else is just going to be a normal video. You guys know over all the time I've had channel member stuff, I have made an effort to not put Avatar videos behind the exclusive kind of video kind of paywall. But these, because they're so different than I think videos I usually do, I think this is the right option to kind of put them somewhere where it's there for people who want them, who are aware of like what the style of video it's going to be, because you're going to get to see what the first one is like, and if you want the others, it's there and available. I just sort of worry if I put all of them up theoretically that it just is like too different of a way to do it, because again you kind of would have to, I guess, do it as more of a commentary track kind of reaction thing where you watch the episode yourself alongside my video, and that's just the kind of plan there. So, yeah, that's basically it. So definitely in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. You know, what are your kind of plans for the day? Like, what's your approach to tackling the show? Are you going to try and watch it all at once? That sort of things. And then especially for like my coverage, like obviously I think the first 2 days are pretty locked in what I'm going to do, but what would be your thoughts for sort of the stuff beyond that? Like, what would you be maybe expecting as the kind of release cadence for some of these more in-depth videos, podcasts? But I think specifically what I really need feedback on is just, you know, what specific discussion topics for the live action show do you think are requirements, and thoughts on how and when to do live streams for the show. But yeah, otherwise, you know, let me know your thoughts below. But that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.